Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host, Dakota, with my co-host, Jordan. Today,
Hello.
we're going to be seeing how well we did at predicting the future. You know, if you didn't listen to our episode where we talked about Marvel Legends that we wanted to come out this year, you can go back and listen to that. I'll put the link up here. It turns out we were pretty good at this. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't get 100%.
I think we can will a lot of toys into existence. So
right.
If our listeners want toys to be made, you should comment, and maybe we'll put those on our top 5 we want for next year episode.
Because these weren't even like things that we were like, oh, what's something that's likely to come out. These were just straight up ones that we just wanted, whether they were likely or not. We kind of talked about like, oh, this could happen in this area or that area, but I'm pretty excited about it. I think this will be a cool episode. I want to do this more often with some of our other ones where they were like, because we did an episode talking about what Toy Biz we wanted to be redone. Click that link up there somewhere. And we did another one of figures that we were excited to come out this year. So maybe we'll do that in our like top 10 figures for the year. That'll probably come out maybe not the next episode, but the episode after that. And we'll see how many of those figures were actually in our list of what we wanted or what we were excited for, if they lived up to our expectations or not. So Jordan, do you want to run through all 5 of yours? Or you want to just go through one at a time? What do you think?
I think we should go one at a time.
All right. So should we do the ones that you were correct on, and then we'll save the ones that you were wrong on? Or do you want to just go through how we did it in the other video?
I was just going to go through it in the order that I have them, if that works.
So what was your 5th most wanted figure, and were you correct?
So I wanted my 5th most... Wait. I don't know if I have them ranked by the order I wanted them in.
Okay. Well, we'll just go with
Do you want me to arrange them that way?
No, that's all right.
One of them I went with... I'll put this lower on my tier, but I think my lower one was a Herald Thor.
Yeah, I think that was number 5.
Because I remember thinking that he would pair well with Galactus, which I think you have shown us at some point in a display.
Yeah.
And with the Donny Cates stuff, it kind of made sense. With, I think they'd announced Null at that point.
Yep.
And Venom with Wings, and then they'd done Space Ghost Rider, or Cosmic Ghost Rider, of course. So I thought it made sense, and I was glad to see it. I was pretty happy. I think we've talked about this one before, but you got a ton of stuff, it felt like, for a normal Legend price, where you got the Build-A-Figure part, the hammer, the new crows, like...
I like when people describe that as they're like, he's got the crows, the lightning effect, the hammer, and a severed head of an enemy, rather than just a Build-A-Figure part.
I've never heard that. That's funny. The severed head of the controller.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I was pretty happy with that one. And I'm glad that we got to see it.
Yeah, me too. I think I was not as excited about that one as you were. I still haven't read that storyline with him there. I have played Fortnite where he was in the Battle Pass, but...
the dude from Fortnite?
Exactly. I don't know if that really counts as I know the character. But I do love Thor, and I think, like you said, he was a good value for your money, and he's... For as much armor is on him, he moves pretty well, too. I was surprised about that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you were correct in that one, because he is up in my display with Galactus right now. My number 5 on that list... the one that I was hoping that they would make is a new Terrax, which I guess I was kind of right and kind of wrong. I didn't get a new Terrax. I got a newly painted Terrax. I was hoping for a deluxe.
Reissue.
He's kind of a deluxe. I was hoping he would come with like a boulder to fly on. I think that was a little crazy. I don't think Hasbro will ever do that, kind of like we've mentioned before in the podcast, but we did get a reissue of Terrax. I'm pretty happy about that, even though he's not the greatest, and a lot of people have issues with the like the shoulder pad. It looks like he's got like a bullet hole in it, and then he's got some missing, or like his paint's not perfect, and like his gauntlets and boots and stuff like that. So not perfect, but it's pretty good. He's also up on my display with the HasLab Galactus. He came with the Fallen one, which again, people are kind of... I don't think he's going to be making anybody's top 10 list, but I'm happy to have some more Heralds for my Galactus. and I would much rather pay whatever it was for that 2-pack versus the like. I'm pretty sure I had the original Build-A-Figure Terrax and I sold it for like 120 or something because that I would rather have the money for that to buy me some more Heralds, and I was happy to get one reissued at much cheaper. So
Yeah. Yeah, I have yet to see that one in person of yours.
yeah,
So
I mean, have you seen the Build-A-Figure?
I don't really remember if I did.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
But
I mean,
I
it's
don't
a pretty
know.
solid figure. I mean, it is kind of weird that in this day and age we're still getting like he's a reissue, but it's a brand new figure straight out of the box, but he's got ball joint hips, which is kind of odd.
And I think in either the concept or the digital render, he doesn't have those.
Oh, I don't remember that. But yeah,
So,
I mean
yeah, you can
the
maybe
actual
find
figure.
that picture and throw it up, but I saw people saying that. So,
Yeah. Well, so far we're 1 for 1, Jordan. Do we
yeah.
stay that way in your next
Oh,
figure?
my next one, I wanted a Doombot army builder. And I don't think I really felt like this one was very likely, but I think I was hoping in the vein of like, they'd done the shield builders.
Right.
You got the Hydra guy, the AIM, right? And then
Yep.
what was
You
the
got
Hand
Hellfire
Ninjas?
Goon. Yeah.
Hellfire Goon. So it's like maybe they just wanted to take a year off of the army building, but
I think did
I
the
thi-
Shield Agents come out this year? And I think the Scroll. I thought that it
Yeah,
was like
Scroll.
Shield Scroll and the like Hand Ninja Builders came out this year.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm wrong.
They
Maybe
might
that
have.
was the end of last year. I don't remember.
Hard to
We'll
say.
look it up.
Hard to say. A lot of toys. um, so I was like, I didn't even know what I wanted. If I wanted it to be like a classic. No, I think I said I wanted the smaller one and then the heavy duty one. And we
Yeah.
talked about the Universal Studios
Yep.
Doombot. So that would have been cool. Not, of course, didn't happen. But I've got a pretty good Doom army, as you know. Maybe you can throw up a picture of the Doom army. But I'm happy with those for now, but it would be cool to see some of those in the future. So maybe.
And-
I still think that could happen. I don't think that's too crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure because we have the leak of I think the 2-pack of Photon and Doctor Doom. So maybe that Doctor Doom will be kind of generic enough
Like
that
that.
could be. I mean, that's kind of hard to army
Yeah.
build a 2-pack though. You're gonna get like a million photons. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a pretty. Maybe when Doctor Doom comes into the MCU, or he's like closer to
Yeah.
coming into the MCU, that might be more likely.
Well, even if they made them like the retro, like before they were just like Doom clones, it would be like kind of like those generic, like looking like Robo Men
Right.
from like Scooby Doo, essentially.
Yep.
That just looked really goofy. But even those would be fun, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
And I can't imagine those would be too hard to make.
No, I wouldn't think so. Especially because you could reuse a lot of parts from previous Doctor Dooms and other figures. But yeah, I think it's still in the realm of possibilities for the future.
Still hoping.
The next one I wanted, again, I was right, but kind of not right. I was hoping for a brand new retro Rhino. We got a retro Rhino, but just another reissued repaint. Did have original heads, so again, I'm gonna say I'm right and wrong at the same time. And I was happy with
man.
this one. It's up on display behind me here.
That's kind of what I wanted, but
I mean, I mainly just don't want to pay those like aftermarket prices for those Build-A-Figures.
no, I know.
And I think at the time he was going for like
Come
150.
on, baby.
Right.
With Fin Fang Foom re-release.
I don't know. I was listening to the new ACBA podcast where they had the whole Marvel Legends team on, and they were asking them what they were most excited about for this upcoming year. And Dwight was excited about the new HasLab that they were already working on. So I wonder if that's going to be Fin Fang Foam. Be curious. Vehicle didn't work out. Maybe we're going back to just supersized figures.
Features.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm happy with it. I'll count that as a victory. And it's on the it's a giant blister card for the retro. So
It is.
I
I
love
just
those.
sent one out as a trade because I am getting the newest Mayfex Spider-Man. So
Right.
We'll have to do a reaction video to that maybe
Hmm.
once I get it. But
Definitely.
yeah, that's a big card.
Yeah.
So it is cool. I'll give you that. I didn't really love them out of the box, but I think if I were in box person, I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah. I mean, I had some cool pictures with him and him fighting the symbiote Spider-Man. So maybe I'll put those up if
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where those might be on a hard drive somewhere, but I have a hard drive of
Somewhere.
toy pictures. All right. What
Oh
was
man.
your what's your third?
I think my third was the new retro Craven.
So
Mainly because I was not happy with the current Cravens on the market.
right.
And again, like you said, kind of right, because
Mm-hmm.
we saw the digital render earlier
Yeah.
this month
Yeah. That was
that
just on the last
showed,
live stream.
yep, it would be presumably a retro card.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it a Walmart exclusive?
Yes.
So, Walmart exclusive Craven in that animated style.
Mm-hmm. But not
And
the
I think it
animated
looks good.
series.
Animated style. So, again, kind of right. And this was before I could conceive of there being another animated
Right.
series line that is the real animated series, not this fake one we've been buying for the past couple of years. So I feel like that's less of a like win in some ways than you had with at least T-Rex, because it was like, I don't know, maybe it's not,
Yeah,
but
I think you were right. You were just a year ahead of your
it's hard to
time.
say.
Yeah.
You're ahead of my time.
And I think
So
I would rather it be on a single card versus a two pack.
yeah,
Because like we've said, like you're gonna get the cool figure that everybody wants at Craven, but then they would have packed it in with like Shocker or somebody that nobody wanted.
yeah.
So
Well, I just hope it's not like they put out a Craven and Chameleon 2-pack or something, and it's like, oh man, I should have waited. Like I
sure.
could have just gotten that, because it'll probably be pretty similar with some extra cell shading.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Um, it looks good though. I
Yeah.
mean, as far as you can tell with the digital renders, that's always
Mm-hmm.
hard to get super excited about. I
True.
think
I
we've
mean, I
talked
would
about
assume.
this. Like, I think just the announcement coming with it in hand, and you're like, okay, how's it look?
Right. I agree.
But
So like, I mean, I can see like when they do that with like that Spider-Man movie 3-pack. It's
yeah,
like, okay, you got to get people when they're excited when the movie just came out, and
right.
then be like, oh, this is gonna come out in a year from now, and then like that kind of
Hmm.
make. But it's Craven, so like it's not like now is gonna be more hyped than in 3 months when you have the figure in
Yeah,
your
like
hand.
if the Craven movie just came out, I'd be
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, sure.
Sure.
But I don't see the Craven movie selling any toys. But that's
No.
another discussion. Um,
I mean, and I think that maybe they did it because it's like that's just gonna be a repaint of the Cravens we already have. So like you already know the figure. It's just like this is what it's gonna look like.
yeah.
This is gonna be the paint we're gonna use for it. So because
Hmm.
I would doubt that they're gonna do anything new with that Craven. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd count that as a win. Say
All
you're
right.
right. Just it at least got announced this year.
Yeah.
The next one on my list was I was hoping for a larger sized Sabretooth. I was hoping maybe in the VHS X-Men series we were going to get him something a little bit bigger, because when we did that episode, they had already announced the first appearance, Sabretooth, which neither one of us are too excited about. But I would love to get the larger Sabretooth, kind of like from the animated series, that Jim Lee style. Nah, didn't get him this
On the
year.
on the Caliban body.
On the Caliban body. There's been some good customs. But yeah,
I hope
I don't.
I hope you get that someday, man.
I do
Because
too. If not, maybe it will we'll be so successful I can just commission a customizer to make me my dream Sabretooth. So we'll see.
yeah, yeah. I would have liked to see that too when
Mm-hmm.
they were talking about a new Sabretooth. I was assuming it would be like the '90s style suit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of shocking to me, not shocking, but kind of like, yeah, that's interesting. They went
Mm-hmm.
with first appearance, and his face did not look like his first appearance. So I was
Yeah, it
like,
was
this
kind of
does
odd.
not really match.
Yeah.
But
I wonder if that's going to be like reused for some other character or something. And that's why it was kind of off, but I don't know who it would be. But
yeah, so yeah, that could be. But it also was like, well, if we're not Because didn't they say next year there won't be any VHS X-Men?
Correct. But they are like, I mean, if according to the leaks that we talked
We're
about,
getting the X-Men 97.
yeah. And we don't know what that's going to look like, whether that's going to be kind of retro card or
Yeah,
windowless or whatever that's going to be. But it would make sense to not do those on VHS because we're in a Disney Plus era now, so
yeah.
no more VHSs for
Maybe a
that.
Sabretooth Build-A-Figure
Maybe.
on the Caliban body.
I mean, that seems like an easy redo. But I mean, they also seem to be putting out a lot of deluxes now. So maybe we
Yeah,
just get that Sabretooth on that body for whatever Blob or Ronin costs, like 45 to $55, which I know we just talked about that Blob, and there was
I
people
don't know. I don't know
thinking we
how I
were
feel
right and
about
wrong.
that. I
You
think
would
you
not
might be
pay.
reaching.
You don't think you
I
wouldn't
think
pay
that
that
the
much, or you don't think that would happen?
I could see. I kind of both, but I
Okay,
think more so. I'm like I wouldn't want to pay $50 for a deluxe Sabretooth. I don't think.
come on, dude.
I think I think the fact that the Apocalypse one for a while was selling at 50 was ridiculous because I don't think it was a great figure, but I
Hmm.
also just Sabretooth is not a character that compels me to drop $50 on him,
Yeah,
and maybe that's just my preference.
yeah.
But
I mean, maybe he'd be more in the like Ronin, where Ronin's 45, because I really don't need, like, people love to want extra accessories. Like, I don't need blast effects with my Sabretooth. I don't need
hmm
shackled hands from one episode. Like, literally, you could just give me a snarling faced Sabretooth and some either like two claw hands.
fists and claw hands.
Even that, like I'm saying, is like either two claw hands or one claw hand, one fist, and I'm happy. I don't even need two claws, two fists. Um, and that would make him pretty cheap. So
Yeah,
I'd drop 45 on the Sabretooth. Because I mean that's pretty much what you're gonna pay for that Apocalypse one now, and that one's
that's
tiny.
true. Yeah, he is very tiny.
So all right. That was my third. What's your
All right.
fourth, Jordan?
My fourth was a. I can't remember if this is my fourth or my fifth, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
This was top or not. I'm just gonna say I wanted a 3-pack of all the movie Spider-Man,
Yeah, I think that was your.
which we received the announcement.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness, feels like that
It's
was a
been a
while ago
while.
now.
Yeah. It's probably shortly after
But
this
it's
episode aired.
yeah. So I was happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, digital renders, so it's hard to know. And then there was the whole they don't come with the extra heads that
Mm-hmm.
got people upset, and the higher price tag. But because it's, I mean, literally, it was on my top 5 things I want. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I know I had to pre order some. And I don't know. I think it would be a bummer. Well, I don't know if they do the single releases of those. So I hope I get what I wanted, and it's like, here's the 3-pack. We're not
Mm-hmm.
going to do them as single releases, at least not right away.
Right.
For me, that would kind of cheapen it and be like, oh, so I guess we kind of. But then you
Was that
just
in our
re-release
leaks
it.
episode? I think it
I thought they
was.
talked about. We thought maybe it would be like scientist Peter Parker
Mm-hmm.
and like street clothes Tom Holland and
Right.
Toby.
Yeah. I just can't remember if that was like a part of Rectangular's leaks or not. But I
I think
it
it was,
Yeah. So that'll
but
be
we just
interesting.
didn't know which one it would be. So
Okay. Um,
yeah,
yeah. I think that could be another one of our episodes too, is talking about like that pricing structure, because we kind of mentioned it in our blob pricing in the X-Men 3-pack, but I still am struggling to like, oh, that it's like almost $100 for 3 Spider-Mans. That's ridiculous. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's, well, maybe it was like 89 something. It was high. And
wasn't it a Pulse exclusive though?
yeah, true. But still, I don't
What are
like
the
it.
odds you find it otherwise for cheaper if you ever
Yeah,
want them? But
that's
then, like
true.
you said, maybe they'll just put them out.
Right. And yeah, maybe that'll be another episode, because I need to decide how many of these am I pre-ordering. Like, it's sold out right now, but how many do I have? Do I have 3 on pre-order?
I don't remember.
I have at least 2.
I'll have
I
to
can't remember
look.
if I have 3. But that's kind of what I'm wondering. Do I even want 3? I know I don't want 3. If I have 3, I'm canceling 1. I only need 2. Do I even need 2? I want 1 to keep. Do I want to rock? One to rock, one to stock? I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know. Maybe it is. But it's so expensive. I don't know. See, this is why it's got to be another episode so I can do this back and forth and you can convince me one way or the other. Anyway, my fourth one was Penance. Now, this one I knew was like, nah, I don't think it's going to happen. But
Bondage spike guy.
But we did just get that, like, what's her name? Moonstone or...
Yeah,
whoever that is.
Moonstone, yeah.
So she was a part of his team. And they're always talking about wanting to complete teams. So I could see maybe down the road he comes in. And he's another one that, like, you probably don't really... I mean, you don't need money effects. It's like... I don't know.
It'd be quite a bit of new tooling, though, I think.
It would be, yeah. And, like, what are you going to reuse
and that's
those
a
spikes
one-time.
for? Yeah. So, again, it's probably unlikely to happen, but it's possible. I'm going to keep my hopes up. And it's been a while since he was in the comics, I think.
Yeah, so, I think he's just Speedball again.
Right. So, and we just got that Speedball, and that Speedball was kind of disappointing. So, anyway, I knew that one was pretty unlikely, but still one that I want and one that I still would be happy to have right now. So, what was your last one, Jordan?
My last was an improved retro Spider-Man.
And this one, wasn't this like you wanted like tons of stuff with it, right?
Yeah, this one I said maybe a deluxe. I said maybe with wall crawling hands, thwip hands, the fist hands, new webs, new style heads or multiple heads like the first appearance, and a standard, McFarlane big eyes, torn up mask, kind of like a Mythic Legion, like multi, those packs where you've got kind of what the Furious 4 looked like, where you just have a huge spread of like. This is giant package, So I...
Giant package? Is that what got you?
Yeah. So we have the retro cel-shaded Spidey coming out, but I guess he's got webs. But I don't even know if I was imagining it cel-shaded. I think I just wanted like a definitive Spider-Man that would be like classic and cool. Maybe even looking like the Mafex.
Yeah.
But just different, like, accessories and stuff.
I feel like you kind of got it, but instead of getting a deluxe one Spider-Man, you got, like, 6 Spider-Mans that can all kind of be your... Because on my shelf back here, I've got my Renew Your Vows, I've got my Amazing Fantasy, I've got my new Amazing Friends 3-pack, and then I've also got a Ben Reilly and a Scarlet Spider, so I've just got a whole shelf.
So they're all, like, kind of there.
Almost the same. But there's a little differences that I'm like, I can't get rid of that one because he's got toe joints, and I can't get rid of that one because he's the right colors, but I can't get rid of that one because... So... Yeah.
I'm afraid the cel-shaded... And that's not even... Yeah, I'm afraid the cel-shaded, I'll get it and not be happy with it because I think of the size and the fact that they're probably just going to redo them soon.
I mean, that's my favorite body.
It's cool. I hope I love it, but we'll see. It's still not my battle damaged. I think I'd still want this actually. Maybe it's like a Mafex.
Yeah, I don't know because I do like your
the Swiss Army tool Spider-Man, where it's just like he's got everything.
I just feel like that's got to be so unlikely to get that from Hasbro because.
I know.
I mean, like I just said, I just bought how many Spider-Mans this year? Probably. I don't think did the retros. I think the retros came out this year too. So like including like those alternates, I got a symbiote, I got a Ben Reilly, I got Amazing Fantasy 3-pack, Renew Your Vows, cel-shaded. That's at least 6 Spider-Mans I just bought there, and instead they're just not going to sell you that perfect one. It's got to be a little something that's missing that makes you want the next one. But I do like your idea of like a Legion builder or like the deluxe Legion builder where it comes with like...
Or like a Legion, imagine you could like port out the arm and port in a battle damage arm. So
that's
like
what I was thinking too.
One arm's battle damaged and one foot is, but the other like...
Yeah, which you can do. Like they do that with like Moira McTaggart and
Yeah.
Mr. Fantastic. So why not with a Spider-Man? And he'd come with a backpack. I think you mentioned that in your
Yeah.
other
I'd
episode.
I'd I'd pay a good amount of money for that.
60.
What about 50?
I think 55. I think is probably like that seems to be the going rate for a deluxe like Blob.
Yeah, because that's far enough from a Mayfex that it seems
Mm-hmm.
justified.
And plus, I mean, if it is going to come with all those things, I think that's also justified. And it's going to be your last Spider-Man you ever need to buy. Like it's going to be your 90s, your current, your. I mean, I guess like the body size isn't going to change much, but yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a cool one.
Who knows?
We'll see. My last one came true, but kind of disappointing about it. My last one was random, which I thought was kind of like way out there. Like, there's no way. He's got a cannon for an arm. You know how I love that. But this one that's coming in that Strife 5-pack, it's just not doing
First
it
of all,
for
it's
me.
in a 5-pack.
Exactly, yeah. I got to buy 4 other figures that I don't really like. Strife, sure, I'd really just like him to resell him because I hope he goes up in value. But the other ones, I'm like, don't really love them. Zero would be okay, but I don't know him enough, and I don't know. And I'd also imagine Random to be more like bulky
Have a
and
little
like he
more
just
to him.
seems like I don't know. I haven't seen anybody like do a review in hand yet, so I'm not sure. Maybe he is bigger than he looks in the package, but he looks very like standard size. I'm not sure what body he's on, but it doesn't seem big.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to like kind of tower over people, but this one's definitely not towering over nothing. So I really
Yeah,
maybe I'll find this guy loose, but I don't know. It was a miss for
I've never
me.
had interest in Random, and this one does not entice me to want one. So.
Right.
And then we
Yeah.
also had pie in the sky ones, didn't we? Or was that your? Do you have one that was like a pie in the sky?
I don't think so.
Because I had a pie in the sky. Maybe I threw this on there, but remember I talked about a Franken-Castle
Oh
Build-A-Figure
yeah, I do remember
around
that.
Halloween time with the Legion of Monsters, me
Yep.
amphibian, Frankenstein, werewolf. Now that
Yeah.
Werewolf by Night came out, I feel a little more hope that we
Mm-hmm.
might see, some new monsters.
Yeah.
I think Franken-Castle as a Build-A-Figure is still a ways off,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Eventually, they might dig deep enough that they're like, eh, if
Yeah.
there's
I
hope
mean,
for.
they have quite a few Punishers already, so it's not like they would need to be like, oh, we're gonna go back and redo the.
If you throw up pictures of him though, it would require some pretty intense retooling.
Well, I just
I
mean it's
think.
not like they're gonna be like, oh, we haven't done the War Machine Punisher. It's like, oh, check that off the box. It's like,
Oh,
what's the
like
next kind of
they're
Punisher we could
aware
do?
of, yeah.
Yeah, it's like we
Okay,
could do
that
the
makes sense.
animated version. We could do 2099 Franken-Castle. I mean, what? How many other real
Yeah,
Punishers could they do? So
I'd love that. So that would be cool for me. Still, I have more hope of like a new werewolf, maybe a
yeah.
new man thing
Mm-hmm.
at some point. But who knows? They might at that point want to round out the team.
Yeah. I don't
So
think that's too outlandish anymore. So
so we were a lot closer, I think, than
yeah.
I thought we'd like.
Yeah. I mean, 3 of my 5 came to be true.
Because most of these, I remember us saying, we don't necessarily think these are going to happen. It's just
Mm-hmm.
this would be cool if it happened.
Right. And we
So
didn't know like these. None of these were leaked either,
yeah, there were no leaks of this. It was just
or at least if there
speculation.
was, we didn't know about it.
Yeah,
So
we weren't. Yeah, not bad.
yeah.
I think it'd be fun to do that again for
Yeah.
next
I
year.
think we should.
I think we can maybe dream a little bigger because
Yeah.
I don't know.
We were too accurate. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, that's fun.
What figures were you hoping that we got that either came true or didn't come true quite yet? I know some people kind of have like a whole like sheet of different characters they want to get from certain either stories or eras or even MCU type figures. And whether they're leaked or not, let us know in the comments. And make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing. I respond to all comments. If you see negative comments, defend the strong collectors. We appreciate that. Tell those haters that you're listening to a good podcast. And if you don't think you're listening to a good podcast, well, I don't know. I guess you could leave the comment.
And we don't just only throw up pictures of toys sometimes.
Yeah.
We have lots of pictures.
I've been trying to leave the pictures up longer because that seemed to be what a lot of people commented about. Is like, it's too fast. So I thought you guys would want to see our beautiful faces, but apparently you'd rather see pictures of toys.
Coming. Our reach is growing.
Yep. Not according to whatever that guy was.
I know. That's why
I know. It's just kind of like, I like when our end of the podcast, when we tell people to like leave comments and stuff, it turns into like, man, this guy said something mean about me, and I felt so now I'm telling you guys to go make me feel better and defend me.
Absolutely.
So like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, post us in the groups, and until next time, stay strong.